I viewed Daniel Jones's rookie season as an old school rookie season. You know, he made mistakes, but you could clearly see something there. It reminded me a lot, quite frankly, of Peyton Manning's rookie season way back when. Your thoughts on what you saw out of Daniel Jones?
I like Jones a lot. I thought he played really well. I thought for the most part he was efficient. He was tough in the pocket. He showed pocket movement. Obviously, fumbles have to be cleaned up. That's a given. We know that. That can be worked on. But I thought, given that he was not playing behind a real good O-line and did not have a great receiving core, I thought he played extremely well. Now, if I could just jump to the receivers, I think one thing you'll see a lot of with Jason Garrett is I think you'll see a lot of formation diversity because they really don't have defined receivers for specific roles. Golden Tate and Shepard are really slot receivers, but they're probably going to have to be on the field at the same time an awful lot, just because they don't have a lot of receivers. And I think so you'll see a lot of formation diversity. I think they're really hoping that Darius Slayton can, if not become a volume receiver, can become a meaningful vertical threat, which he showed flashes of as a rookie. So it's a team that is kind of lacking a receiver. The other player that's critical to them, and he can't seem to stay on the field, is Evan Ingram. Yeah. Because Ingram is sort of a combination tight end wide receiver. And you just have to think back to that touchdown he caught last year. It might have been Jones' first start against Tampa, where he caught a kind of a slant route or an in-breaker and ran about 75 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. You know, those are the kinds of plays he's capable of making. He just has not been able to stay on the field to really showcase his abilities and give the Giants that offensive diversity that they ideally like to have.
Actually, two things that are really positive. He's really good coaching quarterbacks. Yeah, that's really how he got his start. Really good in that area, and he's going to bounce from 11 to 12 personnel. Does it very, very well. I've talked to guys who work with him in the past, and they are big fans of the way that he works with quarterbacks. So I would expect the issues with Jones last season with fumbles and the other things about his game that needs to be cleaned up. He's going to get that done. I just wish we had an offseason to get that done, John. But one thing I do want to add, though, in their backfield, to say Deion Lewis was cut because he didn't look very good would be an understatement. You do not need to pick Deion Lewis up as his handcuff. I'm not a big handcuff guy. I think it's all situational with 32 teams. I know people got excited that he was being Barkley's backup. Right now, he would be the handcuff, but he just did not. He looked like he lost a step, and I think Wayne Gallman could actually push him a little bit.
I want all the Giants, and Saquon will be the clear-cut lead of this offense. I mean, last year he had a really bad ankle injury that he very clearly came back way too early from. I mean, we know Saquon Barkley's Superman. We know that he's a freak athlete, et cetera, but he came back way too quickly. Even with the ankle injury, even in a bad year, he still averaged nearly 20 PPR points per game, averaged nearly 120 yards from scrimmage per game. And you mentioned the offensive line is even better this season. What's going to be really interesting too, John, is this defense stinks. I mean, their defense is not very good. They're going to give up a ton of points. And for fantasy, if they're in a bunch of bad game scripts where, you know, Daniel Jones is forced to drop back a bunch and Barkley's catching those checkdowns, I think this whole offense, especially if Evan Ingram stays healthy, this whole offense is really undervalued for fantasy football. And Daniel Jones right now is my favorite late round quarterback to draft in best ball leagues, and it's not particularly close.